Yo, everybody, welcome back to the Desire.
Welcome!
Well, that really threw me off.
Why did that throw you off?
I thought you were saying, wait, cut.
What's Wade cut?
Oh.
What does that mean?
Well, no, he's saying, wait, cut, like, stop the
thing.
podcast. But, no, welcome everybody back to the Desire the Fire podcast. It has been a while since we've been able to upload a episode for your audible pleasure, but it is good to be back.
We're back together.
Yes, actually, this is first in a while. We haven't actually been physically next to each other. That I was getting borderline like homosexual there. So
what does that mean?
What
are you trying to say?
We haven't been able to occupy the same space and podcast together.
Sounds so strange.
Is that even worse? I was trying to.
It sounds like I'm sitting on your lap or you're sitting on mine.
Or like we're in the same space at the same time.
Okay, let's move on. But we are back at the studio.
Oh, not really. We're like two floors under it.
2 floors under it.
So
we're 2 floors under 8th Light Studio.
Yes, we got double booked.
We got double booked?
Yeah.
So someone's actually in there right now?
Yeah, but you can't hear it, which is awesome.
They're actually playing and recording.
I think people are throwing chairs around there too.
Oh!
Is there fire?
Bad boys!
Yeah, it's good to be back. I hope everyone's been doing well. I hope this week and this episode finds you in a good place in your relationship with God. And if not, that's cool too, because God is one who never insists that we be perfect, but he was perfect. Okay.
I'm not even going to say anything.
We have a lot in store for you guys throughout this episode, but today we're going to talk about one of our favorite subjects.
Oh, Daniel, do you like sports?
Not so much. No, not really. Just my most favorite thing in the world.
I think I'm getting into this other sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's called esports.
Oh my gosh. It's not even esports. It's just one game that you're into right now.
I played one of the guys that are in esports this morning. I played him and he's steaming.
Oh, let's not give any more glory to that than you've already done. You can check his Instagram if you want to know what he's talking about. Man.
But dude, so you like sports? What kind of sports teams do you like?
Like typical American ones. I like football,
Chargers.
baseball. Oh my God.
You like the Chargers and the Angels?
As I'm wearing an Oakland Raiders hat, you're telling me I like the Chargers.
Yeah, you love the Chargers. You love Phillip Rivers.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Phillip Rivers.
What about Phillip Rivers?
He just got a contract extension.
He did. The Chargers are screwed.
Maybe Derek Carr's kind of like Phillip Rivers. Maybe he will become as great as Phillip Rivers.
But you know what makes Derek Carr great? And this is a great segue into our next segment.
Uh-huh.
Derek Carr is an awesome Christian.
How do you know that?
Because he got his whole team to pray around their first victory last year. Mind you, they went like 10-0.
That's something to pray about, man. Thank God. Thank the Lord.
They didn't see him like, oh, yeah, I'm the best. But he's like, oh, praise God.
Praise God, we're not losers.
Dude, you don't understand. That first victory was so sweet.
What week did you guys win it?
I think this was close to 10.
So you guys won in week 10. You guys finally won.
Something like that, yeah. And, it was actually against the first place team in our division at the time, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, wow. Did Jamal Charles play?
Yeah, he did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He played like 2 downs?
No, dude. Jamal Charles was playing. Eric Berry, do you know the story about Eric? Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't know already, this is a sports podcast.
Yeah, so today we're talking about God and sports. Do you know there's a guy that we know that has a folder on his phone called God and Sports. Guess what kind of applications are in that folder?
It's like fantasy.
Basically ESPN and the Bible app. Fantasy app.
Wait, why does God and Sports get grouped up together in that same folder?
Do you know who it is?
I think he's upstairs right now.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
he's the only one.
Yeah, he's the only one. Well, first of all, he's the only one that's organized enough to do something like that. And on his phone, and then secondly, like, he's the only other person we know that's as enthusiastic about both.
Sam, you're getting fat.
But no, like I was saying, one of the players on the Chiefs, I don't know if you remember the story from last year, but he this guy by the name of Eric Berry. He found a type of cancer or a tumor in his heart or something like that. So they actually sat the rest of the season.
Huh.
And he's like their star defensive safety, I think, one of the safeties on the team too. So it was like a big blow to the team, but it's like, whoa, this guy's life is in danger and stuff like that. So mortality becomes a big issue in sports, and so does God as a result. And you see a lot of people, a lot of good Christians that are in sports as a result. And they do some great things for their craft, for their career, for their profession.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess we wanted to talk about a couple of the more high-profile athletes, if you will, I guess, right?
High profile, I guess, kind of.
Like the whole country talked about these guys at one point or another.
At one point or another.
Right, and
they
then they
still
were,
talk about these guys at time to time.
yeah, and they were phenomenal for that short period of time that they were
Yeah.
there.
Let's start with Tim Tebow.
Okay, Tim Tebow.
I am so happy that he's playing
third
I'm not gonna say
string with the
fantasy
Eagles.
football again. He's not fantasy football material, but he's playing football again. And you know, the reason why I got into football, one of the biggest reasons, was because Tim Tebow. I didn't watch football until Tim Tebow played.
Okay, so you became a fan pretty recently because Tim Tebow graduated college in like 2010 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
So I recently started following football, and it took me a while to pick it up. It took me like 2 years to really understand what was going on and what was going on with each position and what you're looking for.
And like I feel like fantasy football is a big contributor to that too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I played for years, and then it finally clicked with me. I understood what was going on and why it was intense and fun. But Tim Tebow's, yeah, he's a very polarizing character. Did you watch the YouTube video where they mic'd up Tim Tebow, and he's like he's playing a game and he's basically going through the whole game, and
yeah.
it kind of sounds weird. It sounds like a voiceover because he's kind of too like goody two shoes.
Yeah, his voice is a little higher too.
Yeah,
you know,
his voice is a little
like
higher.
for a tough football player, you'd imagine like,
He
but
gets
he's
like,
like yeah, he's got
he gets tackles like, good hit, man. How are the kids doing? I'm like, what? Why would you? And then the other guy's like, oh, they're good. They're good.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thanks, Tim. Thanks for asking, by the way. And then people are genuinely like happy, like, oh, dude,
He's
Tim's
like,
a good guy.
He's singing, but he's not singing very well. He's like, you came from heaven to earth. And he's like singing on the bench. And then he runs onto the bench and he's singing the song. I don't know. He's an interesting character.
Okay,
man.
so like a dynamic Christian on the field, if you will.
Dynamic Christian.
But you know, I heard he's also a fierce competitor too. Like he'd be like, "Oh, good game today, but I got you next time," or something like that too. So you know,
I
he's like a
guess that
football
makes
player,
him
I think.
fierce.
You have to be at that
But
level.
I think it does. It's obvious that when he tries to go for the win at the end of the game,
Yeah, oh, dude, he's going like
he's the
all
best.
out.
He's the best closer in the game.
It's
You
Tebow
can't-
time.
Yeah, you can't deny that he's one of the best closers in sports.
No, but come on, that's so like they
in
didn't
the
win
small,
the Super
in the
Bowl.
small sample size that
Yeah.
he has,
Yeah.
he's the best closer. When
No,
he
but-
can,
okay.
when he's in range to be able to close a game, he can close it.
But like then he should have, with that logic, he should have won the Super Bowl that year. You know, where he won the first playoff game,
Who
but
did
he
he
got
lose against? Like Green Bay after?
no. It was a
He
AFC
won-
opponent, so
He won against the Steelers,
I think it was the Steelers.
and
Yeah,
then he lost against like someone else.
yeah. I don't
No,
remember.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, it might have been the Colts or something back when Peyton Manning was on there.
But yeah, he's a very interesting guy. But what do you think about? I guess the public. I'm popping, man. The public's. I did it
My
again.
ears are like ruptured right now.
The public perception of these there's not many like big name Christians in sports, I guess, to a certain degree.
Well, but then you're going back to what Tebow, right? You want to talk specifically about Tebow?
I guess.
Well, okay. So here's the story with this guy. He came out on a commercial during the Super Bowl a couple years back.
Planned Parenthood. No.
Focus on the family.
Yeah.
And what happened was his mom was giving a short testimonial about how he was supposed to be aborted as a child because his mom and dad were on the mission field and the facilities didn't have what it needed to deliver Tim safely.
Were they in the Philippines? Because I know he goes to Philippine missions.
Something like that. It was one of the Pacific Islands. So they were out there. The medical facilities didn't have ample equipment or anything like that.
Yeah.
To deliver the child safely.
Uh-huh.
Meaning deliver to protect the mother basically. So they were advised to abort the child, but they refused to do so. And up comes college superstar Tim Tebow. By the way, he was really good as a college football player.
Oh my gosh.
The best, one of the best.
Wasn't
if not
he
the
on
best.
a timeshare on top of that? But he was like the goal line quarterback.
Well, he was largely a rushing quarterback,
Yeah.
and big part of his success came from the fact that nobody could stop him. He like people are arguing now. He definitely have a starting position, or he definitely have a career somewhere if he just changed positions.
To rushing.
Running back,
running back?
fullback, something like that. Yeah, for sure. But he's got legs, but people know him for those long passes that he's made. Like they're just like defy all odds. Only God could have guided that ball into the receiver's hands and stuff like that. So this is an awesome athlete at the college level, but when it comes to professional sports, it hasn't really panned out.
Yeah.
Like we're saying, he's a third-string quarterback with the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is like his third team in 3 years.
Who's ahead of him?
Matt
Barkley.
Barkley, and there's Sam Bradford. And there's also the other USC guy that they have there too.
Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez.
There's a big chance that Tebow can play this year.
No, dude, he's gonna get dropped. You have 4 quarterbacks on that team right now.
Chance. Sam Bradford is perennially injured. I think Matt Barkley was injured last year.
No, but Barkley's looking good to play.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
They'd play Barkley over Tebow.
Most likely, Tebow doesn't even make the roster for the Eagles at the end of
Are you serious?
preseason.
Is that what they're talking about?
That's the initial conversation.
I'm gonna pray for you, Tim Tebow. Kido mani hejuke.
If Tebow actually listened to our podcast, it'd be like just another listener. No glory to.
I can fast and pray for you.
Okay. So Tebow was the man that got you into football.
I would say he was the man that got me into football.
Fair enough. I know a lot of
he made football exciting when you were watching.
Sure, his games were fun.
It was very easy when you're watching because there's so much going on in football.
Yeah.
At times that you don't exactly know what's going on.
Yeah.
Even if they set up and they go. But he made it easy to just watch him and just figure out what was happening with him, and you can see why it was great.
Sure. I mean, like, everybody knows a deep pass is a big deal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure. So Tim Tebow got you into football. Okay, and then there's this other guy that
Linsanity.
he kind of put Asians back on the map. Asian Americans on the map.
Dude. There's I don't understand why Asian girls like him so much.
Well, he's a handsome guy, don't you think?
I don't know, man.
He's tall.
He's kind of buff too. I guess that's why.
Yeah, definitely an outlier amongst Asian Americans.
Tall and buff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Did you know? Jeremy Lin was on an esports cast. Do you know for which game?
League of Legends.
No, it's Dota 2.
Dota 2.
Supposedly he plays that game.
Well, he should be playing his own game and getting that better.
What? That's so jacked up, man. That's like such an anti-fan mentality.
Well, to be honest, I was the only one not happy that he came to the Lakers. Obviously, we're LA podcast, LA-based podcast, and I'm a huge Laker fan, but he sucks, dude.
Really?
Well, he was only good for the 3 weeks, and
I
everyone
don't feel like
game.
they gave him a shot. I think there's a lot of good players in sports, and I feel like when the systems run for him, like it wasn't D'Antoni, Mike Woodson on the Knicks, they gave him the ball, and he was running everything, and he was doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And when he's like the focal point of the offense, kind of one of the people that have the ball, and he has the ball at the end of the games and stuff, like. Then he has an opportunity to do what he does well, which is he's a pretty good offensive player.
Well, one of the reasons why he had the ball is because nobody thought he could do anything with it, and so there was no pressure on him. And then he would make like that one play that nobody could stop, and then
oh my gosh,
they started stopping it and putting pressure on him. So he started giving the ball away anyway, like right off the bat. I'm so not a fan of this guy, but
yeah, he didn't do anything for you guys.
Yeah. I gave him plenty of starting time. I mean, if that's the argument.
I don't think so. Well, there's one thing about giving someone starting time, but there's another thing about having to give them starting time and then not wanting to.
Well, but then also, like, I feel what you were saying, too, was that part of this was that the offense wasn't really catered to the style of player that he was.
No way.
Oh, okay. That's not what you were saying.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
no way it wasn't catered to the style.
That's like the Korean no, where like no doesn't mean no, but it actually means yes.
What does that mean?
What
does this mean?
Yes and no.
What does this mean?
But no, on the real, like the thing is, like you have to be a player to merit that too, and I don't know. Just anyway, enough griping about him.
So one of the big things that Jeremy Lin's known for, obviously, is God.
Sure. Um, I know that he was actually at different church retreats up in Northern California before
Yeah.
his big break in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if you guys are all familiar with the story, he was living couch to couch. He was couch surfing different places as he was a member of,
He
like,
didn't have to because he was making enough money, but it wouldn't be financially wise for him to rent a place out.
oh, okay. And then he was moving so frequently
Yeah,
that,
that's why.
because he kept getting traded and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that makes sense. But yeah, his story is that he was couch surfing for a while and all this stuff too.
Yeah.
But in terms of his Christianity, I do have one thing that I really admire about this guy.
What?
Supposedly, when he first moved out to LA, first thing that he did was he hit up Skid Row, and
Really? I've never heard about this.
yeah, he was I don't know if he actually did anything out there, but it was a missional purpose for being out there and really reaching out to the homeless community. Now, I don't know if the homeless community even knew who he was. Just probably another Asian dude lives out in LA and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
But,
I don't think they care.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see that about him, and you see that he's very likely the genuine article, which is very refreshing to see. So I do
Yeah,
have that
from what
going
I
for him.
see, it seems like he tries hard
Right.
to be real, and he doesn't. He tries hard not to let like fame and fortune get in his way.
Hmm.
I really pray good things happen to that guy.
Yeah, so we have two examples of very polarizing, or very, like you said, polarizing figures
Yeah.
in basketball. They were like the biggest deal in basketball and football at one point, but they kind of like just dropped off the map.
Yeah,
And they're
like in
still
similar,
around.
They're in similar situations right now.
Right. And
So Jeremy Lin is
looking
in
for his next
Charlotte.
team. Charlotte.
he's
Okay.
in Charlotte. He's a backup point guard to, I forgot who it was, Kemba Walker,
Sure. Something like that.
Tim Tebow's third string.
All right. So they're neither of them are really in the same limelight that they once were,
Yeah,
and
Which is
they kind
interesting.
of got exposed as athletes, if you will.
yeah.
The reason why I'm so harsh with these guys, though, is that there are guys on the other end of the spectrum as well. People who are like dominating their sport and still, to a certain extent, renowned as great Christians and stuff like that too. For instance, in football, I mentioned this with you earlier, but the guy by the name of Kurt Warner, he's a very active professor of his faith. In fact, if you ever hear radio interviews and stuff like that, you're almost never able to get away from God conversation at one point or another. Reporters will actually ask him like about how your faith has
His faith.
impacted these various things. But the good thing about this guy is he's actually won the Super Bowl once with the Rams back when like he and Marshall Faulk were like dominating the vertical
What was
and the horse
Marshall Faulk was a running back?
running back. He was also a receiver threat
What-
too.
He was on the Cardinals?
No, on the Rams.
Yeah.
And then and then Warner eventually went to the Cardinals where he made another Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
I forgot if he won that, but he and like Larry Fitzgerald were pairing up and like,
Really?
yeah,
So
they
that's
were-
when Fitzgerald was going off.
yeah, they're going nuts. And I mean, it was always fun to see because, dude, this guy could win. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of rooting for like sucky Christian athletes because there've been a lot, to be honest. To be frank,
And what's interesting with Kurt Warner is that he's not very outspoken about it, I think.
well, no, he is pretty outspoken about
But
it.
it's not like, I don't know. He's not like in your face about it, it seems like.
No, definitely his actions speak louder than his words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and,
what I'm saying.
it's great to see that he was doing that too. But on the other side of it, the final major American sport that we haven't mentioned in baseball, there are a lot of prominent Christian figures. But
Huh.
once again, being an LA-based podcast ourselves, my favorite is a guy by the name of Clayton Kershaw. I mentioned him before.
What does he play? Because most people don't watch baseball.
baseball?
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
He's the number one starting pitcher on the Dodgers.
Isn't
And
he the best pitcher in the world right now?
He was the best pitcher in baseball last year. He won the MVP.
Last year, yeah.
That doesn't happen for pitchers usually. So he was the MVP of baseball last year.
But he couldn't win it. I heard in the playoffs he fizzled out.
Right. Okay. So there's that, and then there's also the fact that in the off season, like he just disappears, drops off the face of the earth.
And he goes on missions, right?
Yeah, he's in
That's
Africa,
crazy.
actually reestablishing his foundation that he has out there too.
That's amazing.
And throughout the year too, he does fundraisers for like various organizations that he's
Now
like,
you
spearheading.
want to talk about someone that's very not like in your face about it? I think it's Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a competitor first, dude, and it's cool because
Okay, so I guess you can go two ways with this. Like he's not outspoken about it. No one really knows until you kind of dig it up.
yeah.
Is that good? Or is it better to be outspoken about it, or like everyone knows about it? Like where's the balance here? You know?
It's a good question. I think if not necessarily everyone knows about it, but a lot of people are still impacted by it.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. in and of
Actions.
itself. Yeah.
Huh.
Because like his foundation, what he does in missions and all that stuff, he impacts hundreds of thousands of people, maybe thousands, maybe hundreds.
Maybe hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, but like a lot of people are being impacted by the work that he does,
Uh-huh.
and so just because mainstream America might not put in your face that he's a solid Christian, and all these different things, doesn't mean that he's not being the light in the world.
That's
too.
true.
So I think it's perspectives more than anything else. Now, granted, a lot of people could argue that America needs missionaries to work here as much as any other country in the world too.
Yeah.
But, like at least he's going out there into the world and reaching lost peoples for his kingdom too. So, yeah, a lot of respect for the guy. He's like 20.
He's like 25, isn't he?
Yeah,
26.
26, I think. 26 or
26.
27. Already a dad now and stuff like that. But, man, a lot of respect
He
for
kind of
the
looks
guy.
like a goat.
Oh, with his beard and
Yeah.
yeah.
He looks like Billy Goat. Billy Goat Kershaw.
Father, he didn't mean that. Oh, God. Just kidding.
All right, so that kind of goes on to our next topic or next section about does God really care about the outcome of sports? So does God really care about Clayton Kershaw winning everything?
Honestly, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, like...
That's why the Dodgers don't win. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm just going to say...
Oh, shoot.
The Giants won the World Series last year, and one of the things is their ace pitcher is supposedly a really good Christian, too.
Lincecum?
No, Madison Bumgarner.
I was going to say. Is it Lincecum? He's called a freak. He I feel like he smokes weed or something.
I wouldn't put it past him,
I heard some weird stuff about him, man.
the NorCal culture.
Yeah.
No, Madison Bumgarner is supposedly this great Christian and stuff too, but I don't know, his on-field mannerisms and stuff kind of. I just hate the Giants.
Because he's Giants, yeah.
But no. So does God care about the outcome of sports? That's a good question. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think that God really would move one person to win on the other, especially like there's Christians on both teams, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Or even if there was one team had all the Christians and the other team had none.
Wasn't like the Warriors
But-
like that for a long period of time?
What do you mean?
Like weren't there a lot of Christians on the Warriors?
Oh,
And
I don't
then
know.
They would play against the Lakers, and Lakers were all
Lakers
like
and
Buddhist.
non-Christians, Buddhists.
The Kobeist.
They
Phil
have like
Jackson,
they're wearing
Zen
like
Master.
monk clothes. They all have shaved heads, not because they're
Yeah.
okay. This is getting too much, but yeah, I don't think like Jesus loves everyone equally, right? And for him to throw an outcome of a sport, I don't know. He would have to have a reason why, wouldn't he? If there's a specific reason why God would want to change an outcome of a game for his glory, for whatever reason, wouldn't he do it? Because he's capable of everything.
But I think we have to go back to the word when it comes to how God is motivated.
Uh-huh.
And one of the clear things that the Bible tells us is that one of his greater motivations is to seek and save the lost.
Yes.
And so, like, in terms of winning or losing a game and stuff like that, is there a possibility that someone becomes saved because of a win in a game? Like, maybe they bet their salvation on it or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
There is a possibility.
But for them to come to Christ because of that kind of is more conditional, and it's more, if you think about it, in deep down inside, you wanted them to win more than salvation. So you're kind of controlling God in the way that God, give this to me and I'll just give this to you because this is all that I wanted in this world.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, part of it could be that
so is that
God,
true
I'll believe
salvation?
in you. If like, do you remember the angels in the outfield? Let me just say Christianity and sports.
Oh my gosh! No,
pinnacle of
Disney is the best. Has the best way of describing how
Notice
Christianity
that was the angels
works.
that were on that movie.
You can
Anaheim.
just call that movie "Devils in the Outfield."
Oh. But there's no professional team called the Devils. But there
Devil
are
Rays.
the Devil Rays. So let's get into
The Satangmagis.
maybe that's what Tampa Bay's doing wrong. They're not praying to Satan for a victory.
What? What does that mean?
Just
Oh my gosh, that sounded so bad. That sounded horrible. They're
But,
praying to Satan for victory.
but angels in the outfield teaches us that some people might actually get their... no, I'm just kidding. Actually, the ending of that movie was
I don't
kinda
think
sad.
it was anything about believing in Jesus though,
No, it was about dad coming back home
and
to
it was
pick me
about
up.
using angels to win baseball.
Yeah, it could happen.
You just said you don't believe Jesus would or God would. Never mind. This is technical difficulties.
No one needed to know that. I could have just edited
You could
all
edit it
that.
out. You could edit it out.
Okay.
So I think rather than praying to win, I think a lot of these athletes are saying the right thing, that they're playing for God, that they're literally just thankful that they've been given an opportunity to play the sport as their job, as their livelihood, and they can thank God for it. Why are you smiling like that?
It's that fake laugh earlier. It's just cracking me up.
There was no fake laugh. There was no fake laugh. Could you edit it out?
No, dude. I'm not going to edit it. I was only going to say I was going to do it. Yeah, there were technical difficulties. I accidentally hit the space bar and paused our podcast for a second.
You got such fat fingers that it went from the edge of the table. Never mind.
Go on. So you're saying...
Yeah, but they're basically representing God and using the spotlight to push him forward. And I think in all things, when you're given time, 5 minutes, I think our last podcast was about, do you have 5 minutes? Well, how much is it? How much screen time does the average person get if you divide all the time with the people, and you're supposed to get an average of like 12 minutes of screen time, right?
You're talking about athletes or...
No, everybody in the world is on
like
TV
15
or some sort of media.
seconds of fame or
15
something.
is it 15 seconds
I
of
think
fame?
that's how the saying goes.
Well, if you're giving your 15 seconds, these guys have a long time. And
True.
I think for them to use it in that way to push God forward.
Mm.
Because, at the end of the day, you could be such a great basketball player. You can be such a great Hearthstone player. You can be such a great, anything. But like all things in this world, I think, who cares at the end of the day? Like, no one knows about who won the championship in 1977 in baseball.
Actually...
Who won? Tell me.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, baseball, basketball. Who won anything in 1977? Tell me. Who was a president in 1977?
Actually, the president, wasn't it Carter?
I have no idea. It could be Calvin Coolidge for all I care. I don't
What's
know.
the name you don't hear very often?
Yeah, you see? But I think during that time when people are listening and people are hearing, like paying attention to you, if you're able to share with them about who has changed your life and who's the most important person in your life, I think that changes everything. Game
Do what you
changer.
can now while you can do it.
Yeah, so if I become a professional Hearthstone player, you'll see me wear... I'm just kidding.
You like that game way too much.
I'll wear a
dude.
shirt that we will color copy your chest hair and back hair, and I'll make a T-shirt printed with exactly how your body looks, and I'll wear that T-shirt. How about that?
Why don't I just stand in as a body double?
Oh man! So you'll sit on my lap as I play Hearthstone.
No,
We're
just
taking
use
this full
your-
circle. This is full circle.
Use your green screen and just put my body. Just wear that green screen over your.
Oh.
Just have your head over
How
your
about
green
just wear
screen.
a green shirt? That'll do the same thing.
No, you need to wear the green shirt then, right?
Yeah, I'll wear the green shirt.
And then I just...
And then we'll webcam you wherever you're at. And then it'll superimpose that image onto my body.
Gonna start hitting the weight room starting today.
And shaving that beast.
No, there's no need to
There's no
get rid of my essence. Samson
Essence
lost
of
his
fact.
strength from doing that, dude.
Samson lost his- You're taking this to the Bible.
It's
Oh.
always going back to the Bible,
Oh
bro.
man, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. All right,
we
I
just
think-
got through establishing that.
I think
I think
this is gone.
I'm a genius.
We're off the rails. And we're inside a big lake somewhere, inside a train that's sinking, and the Loch Ness monster is coming. So we're gonna have to end this now.
Also, if you had any idea what we were talking about today on Desire the Fire, please, we want to invite you to give us your feedback and your comments.
Has anybody rated our podcast yet?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Maybe it didn't. Maybe I did it.
Where did you
with
rate it? Where did you rate
our
it?
account so that it didn't really mean anything.
Where did you rate it at?
I thought I did the YouTube.
You did it on YouTube. That's not rating. You can't rate a channel.
Oh, I just like the like the one of the episodes. I think
Oh my gosh!
that's different, huh?
Don't do that. Actually,
So,
do that.
what
do that
is-
to every single?
What do you mean by rating our podcast, Chandler?
So if you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, you're able to rate the podcast, and we're able to see it. It does take some time for the rating to populate,
Mm-hmm.
but we will see it, and we want to read what you think about our podcast.
So if I were to do this right now, where I loaded up Desire the Fire podcast on our Stitcher app,
Yep.
then you would see eventually that I rated it.
Oh, you did?
No, well, is that what happened? Like you would get the
I think
notification
it's on
for
the
it?
bottom. Oh, I should. Maybe our email will. But if you do, right now on our iTunes, we have one rating from a fake person named Dan Kim.
Oh, our friend Dan.
Dan Kim, Amazon Prime.
Is this
Why does it have Amazon Prime at the end of his name?
is that what it is?
Yeah. So we have one 5-star review. So this is a 5-star podcast, Daniel.
Mm.
Someone give us a 1-star.
I actually don't know how to rate us on.
Oh my
on
gosh, are
Stitcher.
you kidding?
I'm looking it up
Are
right
you
now. I'm,
kidding
like, totally
me?
clueless. I have no idea how to do this.
All right, just go on.
In fact, I think I unfollowed us on this. Okay.
we are now being eaten by the Loch Ness monster.
This is why you give glory to God when you say you're a podcast about God.
Oh yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so
why do we want rating? We don't want ratings. We just want glory to God. So
Yes.
don't rate our podcast. Go and pray and read the Bible
So now you just
and
got
desire the fire.
total change of heart.
Yeah. Don't go read your Bible. Pray.
No, giving us good ratings will help us to put our podcast out there, and so
Yeah.
people will be able to know. And so, not for us. Our egos are already so far damaged that any 5-star rating won't help us at all
What does
anyway.
that mean?
We've been
What does
picked on
this
all our
mean?
lives for so long
What does
that
this mean? You're making me cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
yeah, I can live with that.
You can live with that. Go cry to your wife. All right, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us. We're about to wrap up a season, and we are limping to the finish line.
So
What are you doing? Are you playing Hearthstone right
no,
now?
I was trying
Daniel
to.
Peck is playing Hearthstone right now.
I was trying to refollow
No,
us on our
here's-
Stitcher app because it's not on my list.
No, it sounds
anymore.
better if you're playing Hearthstone. I can't play it anymore.
I'm sorry, but I'm really trying to find our podcast.
Okay, bye, guys. Maybe the next time we come back, Daniel will have found his own podcast on the podcast directory.
Yes. Okay. As always, I just want to encourage everybody to keep the fire burning. Adios.